Hello guys, in previous video we have discussed the basics of the linked list, how the node will be, how the addresses are linking to each other, how the nodes are linking to each other in pictorial form. But now let's see how can we implement this. Now let's see how can we implement this linked list. Let's see how can we implement this. So as we all know, node consists of two parts. one is one is data part, another one is the next node part. This is the next address. This is the next address. What we are doing here, let us suppose this address is 5 2 and this address is 87. We want to link these two. As we all know, if you want to link these two, if you want to link these two elements, if you want to link these two nodes, what we are doing, we are storing the next address. What is the next address? I want to link these two. That means the next address I want to link these two, right? That means the next address should be 87. So I am storing 87 here. That means what happens here is this got linked to each other. This got linked to each other. That means if I know first node, so I know the first node. So I have printed the first node. Let us suppose we want to print all nodes. I have printed the first node. How can I go to the second node? I want the address. I want the next node address. If I know the address, then automatically I can get the 6 data. I want next address. Where is my next address? My next address is in the at the date of 52 dot next. Yeah, I came to know this next address. What is the 52 dot next? This is the date of 52, and this 52 dot next will be 87. That means I came to know the next address. If I know the next address, I can easily get the data. Dot data. Simple thing. We will see how we are attaching these nodes to each other. We will implement the basic part now. We will see, and next class we will see how can we take the input of the linked list and we will start the loop. We will discuss some main important problems. So now let's implement the linked list from starting onwards. Okay, now let's implement the linked list. So first, before implementing the linked list, as we know the structure of the node. What is the structure of the node? The structure of the node consists of the data with next node address. This is data. This is next node address. So first let's create the structure of this node. First let's create this. And then let's attach all. First let's create the structure. So I want to create a structure. So class node, I am keeping as a class name as a node. And now int data. Now the important thing is here, the most important thing will come. The next part. Now this is the next. This is the address. What is the form of the address? What is the type of your address? Type of the address is node. Node is the type of the address, right? Node is the type of the address. Means here I want node is the type of the address. Here I want node next. Here I want to write node next. Node next. See, this is the node type. This is the structure. This is called address. And the type should be the node type. The structure should be the node type, right? This whole thing called node. This is the address. What is the address type? The address type is node. Okay. In simple words, I'm telling, if you guys are not understanding this part, simple words, whatever may be the, if you want to in linked list or anything, if you want any address, if you want to find out the address, we want to access the address, always the type should be the node type. Node means always the type should be the whatever may be the class name. This is the type, whatever may be the class name, the type should be the class name. If you want to access the address, it should be the class name. It should be the class name. Okay, it should be the class name. Node next. Node next. Node next. Now I am creating a constructor for easy. I'm creating a constructor for the easy initializing the data. So node in data. This dot data is equal to data. Now I have created the constructor. This dot next is equal to null initially. Yeah. Initially I kept data as data, and next initially I don't have any next element. Next no. So I kept null. Initially I kept null. Okay. Now our structure is completed. Now our structure is completed. Now our structure is completed. Just this is completed for me. Just this is completed. Just this is completed. The structure is completed. Now creating the linked list is left. Now let's create the linked list. Now let's create the linked list. Let's create the linked list. First let's create the linked list 6. 4. 8. Okay, let's create the linked list. Let's create this linked list. Remember, in linked list, the first node will be always called head. Head is the first node. Head is the first node. Okay. Head is the first node. Head is always pointed to the first node, and this is the second element. This is the third element. So on, we can attach each other. But remember, in linked list, head is called the first node. Now let's create this linked list. Let's attach to 6 to 4, 4 to 8, and 8 to something. First let's create this node. Let's create this object first. Node n1 is equal to new node 6. New node 6. Okay. First, I'm considering initially we haven't attached anything. Initially, let's think we haven't attached anything. We haven't attached anything. First, let's create this. First, let's create the n1. I'm thinking this as I'm telling this as a n1, this as a n2, this as a n3. Now the attachment is the left, but let's create n2 and n3 also. Let's create n2 and n3 also. N2, 1 minute. Yeah. N2 will be 8. So N2 will be 4 right here. N2 will be 4 and N3 will be 8. N3 will be 8. N3 will be 8. N3 will be 8. Now the attachment is left. The attaching the N1 to N2, N2 to N3. I always told these indicate always address. This N1 indicate always address. N2 indicate always address. N3 indicate always address. N1 has some value address. Just the name of the address. This is just the name of the address. This is also just the name of the address. Through address only we can access the data. N1 is nothing but has some address, has some reference at the date of 5, 6 to 8 has some address. So n1 dot data, that means at the data of 5628 dot data. So the same thing we are applying, the same thing we want applying the concept here. We want to attach here. First, the thing is we want to attach the nodes here. We want to attach the nodes here. That means we want to keep the n2 here. We want to keep the n2 here. N2 has some value. Don't worry about that. N2 has some value. We are keeping N2 here. That means it is attached. No, we want to keep N3 here. That is the rule of the linked list, right? We are in the next part. We are storing the next node address. In the next part, this is the next part, right? We are storing the next node address, right? So let's attach. What will happen here? Observe here. What is the value here? N1 dot next is equal to N2. N1 dot what we are storing? N1 dot in N1 dot next. What we are storing? We are storing the next node address. So N1 dot next is equal to N2. So N1 dot next is equal to N2. No, N2 dot next is equal to N3. Observe the figure here. N3, right? The same thing we want to do now. Let's get N1 dot next is equal to N2. N2 dot next is equal to N3. Now N3 dot next is equal to N4. Now we have created this linked list. Now the linked list creation is over. Now the attachment is also completed. Attachment is also completed. Storing the next address means attachment is completed. Now attachment is completed. So this attachment is completed now. Now I am giving a homework that you create your own linked list with size of 10 and do attachment with 10 elements like this only. With 10. Create the nodes up to n1 to n10. Then start attaching n1 dot next is equal to n2, n2 dot next is equal to n3, n3 dot next is equal to n4. Start attaching the linked list. This is your task. In next video We will discuss how can we print the linked list. How can we print this 468? How can we print this linked list? We will see in next class. In further class, we will see how can we take the input of the linked list. Then we will start doing some very important interview problems which are really helpful, easy, medium, hard. We will cover every type of job. Thank you so much.